Welcome to all my dear students. This class I am going to discuss with you major extra and intracellular electrolytes. So what does mean by electrolytes? Electrolyte is a substance that ionizes when dissolved in a suitable ionizing solvent. So what is the suitable ionizing solvent here? Water. Okay, so an electrolyte is nothing but the substance is a substance that ionizes when dissolved in a suitable ionizing solvent, example water. This include example acids, bases, water, carbohydrate, protein and blood product. So that concentration of this electrolyte, it's mainly depends upon the ions. For example, if it has high concentrated, so has high concentration of ion present. If in case of dilute means low concentration of ions present. Okay, so electrolyte sometimes to be used in for replacement therapy. So electrolyte concentration of body fluids have been different in various compartments. They are as follows. So before going to classification of various compartment of, that means different, that body fluids present in various compartment that might be different. Before going to that, what is mean by electrolyte replacement? When it is required electrolyte replacement therapy means normally the person have to maintain the electrolyte concentration constant. But in case of if he or she become normal healthy person means they can maintain the concentration of electrolyte ions. But the person suffering some health issues, that time they couldn't able to balance the osmosis or osmotic pressure, or in case of to maintain the concentration of electrolyte ion, that time the person need to replace with these type of electrolyte replacement therapy. So example like acids or bases, protein, carbohydrate or blood products. So these are the examples might be replaced with that by externally. Okay, so now we'll discuss that what are all the different body fluids in various component. We'll see there are intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid. How do you say? First one, intracellular fluid, various compartment, they are classified three: intracellular fluid, and second one extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid, and third one vascular or plasma fluid. First we'll see diagrammatic representation of various body fluid. So here you may notice that these are the diagrammatic representation of body fluid. Here we have WBS, white blood cells, and RBS, okay, here RBC, not RBS, okay, RBC and WBC, here RBC and WBC. Okay, next that this is here, it is to be placed in that that means they has cytoplasm and cell membrane. So these are comes under extracellular fluid, and here we have intracellular, this one intracellular fluid. That intracellular fluid mainly present in the cytoplasm, and extracellular fluid mainly present between the cells, and that plasma or vascular fluid present in the vascular fluid or in the plasma. Okay, so now let's see the what is the concentration, that means constituent of the percentage of according with the body weights. We'll see here the intracellular fluid present inside the cytoplasm of the cell, or it constitute 40 to 50% of its body weight and its volume of 30 liter. So the overall content of from the body fluid, mainly it composed of 40 to 50% from extracellular fluid. Next intracellular fluid. Next one, extracellular fluid or interstitial fluid here, which is present, I already told you, which is present between the cells, where it is the present between the cell. It constitutes 12 to 15% of body weight and its volume is 10 liter. And next, plasma or vascular fluid. It is present of 4 to 5% of the whole composed of body fluid, and this constitute of its body weight, and volume is maximum 3 to 5 liter. We know already what is the requirement of plasma for our normal healthy life. So 3 to 5 liters of its volume maximum in our body. We have blood volume of blood become 3 to 5 liter. Okay, so the three layers, what we discussed now, there are three layers like intracellular body fluid and extracellular and plasma or vascular fluid. So these three fluid compartments are separated by each other with the membrane. So here if you see that they have separate membranes between to each other, like intracellular, extracellular and plasma. So it is segregated, or it is demarcated, or it is separated by each other with a membrane which are permeable to water and certain inorganic, but there are not they are not to permit the transfer of certain molecules like protein. So for that three layers, they are separated by the membrane. That membrane only allow or permeable to water from one compartment to another compartment, but definitely they will not they do not permit some certain molecule like protein. As a result, they become impermeable. That means they will not allow, or they will not allow to pass into the that permeable membrane. So to this molecule, for certain ions like sodium, potassium and magnesium, the membrane shows selective permeability. Okay, so next, the concentration and the composition of various solutes in body fluids have been definite but have been different from each other. So for if you see that the concentration and composition of a body fluid have been definite, but they may vary from person to person. Okay, the body fluid are having various inorganic which are that means in that body fluid, so not only we have inorganic and organic ions also to be present in there, but here we are going to study under what are the inorganic substance to be used as a electrolyte. So here either in form of anionic or cationic. So what is the example for anionic electrolytes? Example, bicarbonate and chloride, sulfate, phosphate. So these four anionic electrolytes And cationic electrolytes, for example, calcium, magnesium, sodium and potassium. So these both anionic and cationic electrolyte uh, present in the electrolytes, okay, present in the body fluids. The fluid in each compartment are ionically balanced also. So in case suppose if any changes occurring from that balancing of that ion, so it will have some problem that may create the problem, like in case of dehydration. That means dehydration is nothing but amount of volume in three compartment. That means that we already discussed, in how much percentage or volume, total volume from the body fluid. For example, 40 to 50% of the body weight of its volume has intracellular fluid, and the volume might be 30 liter, like extracellular body fluid like 12 to 15 percentage, and then total volume of its 10 liter, like that. If the person caused to, or person has failure to balance the ion concentration, so the it leads to dehydration problem or hypovolemia or edema. That means dehydration is here the amount of volume in three compartment. That means less amount of volume in three compartment. Hypovolemia is nothing but intracellular body fluid is very, intracellular body fluid is low, intracellular body fluid is low. And next, edema is nothing but the fluid gets accumulated in extracellular fluid. The fluid gets accumulated in extracellular fluid. Here the next we'll see about what are the role of major physiological ion. So if we consider about role of physiological ion, means both we should write about anionic electrolyte and cationic electrolyte. Like anionic electrolytes are there, bicarbonate, phosphate, chloride and sulfate. And cationic electrolyte, example calcium, magnesium, potassium and sodium. Now we'll see briefly about sodium. So generally the ions to control the osmosis of the water between body compartment. Next, to maintain the acid base balance needed for cellular activity. Third one, to control secretion of some hormones and neurotransmitters. Generally these three examples is important to maintain the body fluid, ionic electrolytes in that body fluid. Next, the sodium, it is abundant in extracellular. Let's see the first one, sodium. It is abundant in where it is located, that extracellular fluid. It constitute 90% of the extracellular cation. So maximum, if we see on that extracellular fluid, it's mainly occupied by, that means 90% of the ions might be sodium. Next, the normal plasma concentration is, what is the normal plasma concentration? 136 to 140 milli equivalent per liter. Then normal intake per day, it is differ from normal intake to daily requirement. Normal intake per day, it's become 5 to 20 gram, but daily requirement between 3 to 5 grams. Net excess gets excreted. So suppose in case if we are taking intaking of sodium more than 5 to 20 grams, that can be excreted in the urine. Next, that sodium ion level mainly controlled by aldosterone or antidiuretic hormone. ADH is nothing but antidiuretic hormone. The atria, that is nothing but art produces the hormone known as ANP. ANP is nothing but antidiuretic. ANP is nothing but atrial natriuretic. Atrial natriuretic peptide. ANP is nothing but anti-natriuretic peptide. So this is mainly produced by atria. It opposes the actions of aldosterone and ADH, but it is controlled by the sodium level is mainly controlled by which hormone means aldosterone and antidiuretic hormone. So that if it opposes the action means definitely it increases the sodium ion and water excretion in the kidney. So next, prostaglandin, it's responsible for the, this is one more hormone, it is responsible for the reabsorption of sodium, that glomerular filtration. After it reaches into the glomerular filtration, thereby it is reabsorbed by the hormone is known as prostaglandin. Next, that it plays a major important role in the transmission of nerve impulse in the nerve fiber, that associated with chloride and bicarbonate in regulating acid base equilibrium. So suppose in case of sodium level low or high means what is the symptom can that symptom will form, that will see now. Hyponatremia is nothing but low level or low serum sodium. Example, in case of low serum sodium means diarrhea and vomiting, then addition disease or increased secretion of hormone aldosterone, which in antidiuretic hormone. Next, if in case of hypernatremia means there are the symptoms severe dehydration and hyperadrenalism, that is nothing but Cushing syndrome, and excess treatment with sodium salt. So there are two types of, if in case of low sodium level, diarrhea, vomiting, Addison disease and hormone aldosterone Addison disease. And in case of hypernatremia, severe dehydration, hypoadrenalism and excessive treatment with the sodium salt.